followers! This video is all about clicker training. So it's the third video in the series. So in video 1 I spoke about what clicker training is and sort of how it works, and it's all about teaching a dog, or getting a dog to salivate, to think about food, and the whole process is a way of treating a dog or giving a dog a reward for doing a behaviour using food, but it's all about delivering the food in the right time, or delivering the reward in the right time. And so video 1 spoke about that. Video 2 we showed how to actually accustom the dog to it. So the dog, what we were doing was we're clicking the clicker, pausing and feeding the dog. Click, pause, feed, over and over and over and over again for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time, until eventually you get to the point where your dog associates then, subconsciously, that click means there's a food reward coming. And there's a way to test that. You don't go on to this stage until you're absolutely sure that dog knows that click means there's food coming. Now, the way you find out that is just by clicking the clicker and watching the dog's response. So if your dog starts to lick his lips or salivate, or his feet maybe start moving to indicate that he knows there's some item of food coming, then it's safe to say that the dog's built that association. But you don't want to test every day just to see if he knows it. You've got to drum it into him first with every meal time, do a few clicks and a few rewards, and really get that into him, so his subconscious, it sort of rings a bell. As soon as it happens, he's like, oh, food's coming. As soon as he hears that click, he knows what's coming. Now, the reason we use a clicker instead of just giving the dog food is because the timing of the delivery of that food or that reward is vital. There are all sorts of studies, but it's thought that you've got about 1.5 seconds in which to deliver the food. If you take longer than 1.5 seconds, then it's not going to have any effect whatsoever. But to avoid any sort of error, I class it as 1 second, so I call it the 1 second rule. So within 1 second of that dog exhibiting the behaviour you want, you've got to give him that food reward. Now that might be a bit difficult if you've got a bag on your waist up here, or it's in your pocket, or it's in an inside pocket, or if he's jumping all over you. And the second that timer goes over that 1 second, you've lost it. It's pointless. You can give him as many food rewards as you want, but he won't associate what he's getting it for. So it's really important to get it in that 1 second. If you can get it within half a second, it's even more effective. So from the time the behaviour is displayed, from that time to half a second, if you can get that reward in, it's absolutely fantastic. Between half a second and 1 second, if you can get that reward in, that's good as well, but it's not as good. Between 1 second and 1.5 seconds, some studies show that that's still effective, but anything over 1.5 seconds, you're wasting your time and your food. Now, to avoid any kind of error in, you say, over, sit, and then going for your food and delivering the reward, it's easy to just use a clicker. So now that the dog knows that click means there's food coming, then what you do is you get him to do the behaviour, and the second you do the behaviour, it's very easy for you to just press click like that, rather than root around for it in your pockets or try and remember where they are, or whatever it may be. So the clicker just replaces giving the dog the food in that 1 second time window. And it's very easy to get that click done within the half a second time rule, which is why it's probably a lot more effective than just food reward feeding. And it's especially effective if you're a novice or first time dog handler, or you haven't done it for a while, because you can really get the timing nailed on, and it becomes far more effective in the dog's brain, and it sort of, that behaviour takes root far quicker. Now what the click does, it doesn't replace the food, so you've still got to deliver the food. But what it does to the dog, it says, that was really good, and you're getting a food reward very, very soon when I can get it out. So that gives you then a little bit of time to get it out. And that doesn't start the clock as such, so you haven't got 1 second again to get it out. You can sort of take your time. You don't want to take your time. But as long as that dog's got his focus on you then, after you've done that click, then you can deliver that food in any time, as long as he's got his focus on you. Now, you haven't really got long there, so I'm not saying, you know, walk around the block first. And it's a bit like if you went to work and your boss said to me, "Oh, can you do me a few extra shifts? We're short on staff. Can you work on Saturday?" And you say, "Well, what's in it for me?" Because dogs are always thinking, "What's in it for me?" And he says, "I will pay you on next Saturday. I'll give you double time and I'll pay you on Saturday." That's a bit like the clicker, because you know you're going to get that reward for working over or working the extra shift, so you'll do it. And the click means that I am going to give you a reward. I am going to pay you, just the same as the way your boss says, "I'm going to pay you." So you've always got to pay, because imagine if you did that shift on that Saturday for your boss, and then come the payday, that extra money wasn't there. He promised you he was going to pay you, and he hasn't paid you. Next time you're not going to do it, or you're going to be less inclined to do it. And it's the same with dogs. So the click means food is coming, and every time that you press that click, you've got to deliver that food. The dog's expecting it, anticipating it, and it really nails it and sends it home that whatever my daddy asked me to do, he'll reward me for it at some point down the line. And it's building a bit of faith between you and the dog as well. So if you click, you've always got a reward or pay. Classic. Think of it as payment. The way if you do something at work or you do something for a customer, you expect payment. The dog expects payments too. And that promise of payment, if you let the dog down on it, he isn't going to work as hard next time, or it becomes less effective. And it's the same with you. If a customer promises to pay you and it doesn't pay you, then next time he phones you up, you're going to be no. I used to be self-employed for quite a while, and you've always got a list of people on your phone, sort of customers, and there's always the customers that phone up and you think, "Oh great, they're great to work for." They go in and I go in the house and they make me a cup of tea, they make me a sandwich at dinner time, they always pay me on time. That's what you want, isn't it? And there's always customers who, they when you finish the job and tidy up and put my tools away, they always want a bit more doing, and they always want it for free. And then when it comes time to pay, I give them 30 days to pay, and it always goes over 30 days and I always have to chase them up. So next time they ring me, if I've got a choice of customer A or customer B, then it's not them. The good payers and the good customers are going to come first. It's the same with dogs. If you always look after them, and if they know they're going to get looked after and rewarded, then they're going to work hard for you. But if there's always a little element of doubt in the mind, are they going to get paid this time or not? Is it worth it for me? What's in it for me? Then they're not going to perform for you. So always think of, if you click, you've got to pay. Think of it as payment. So that's sort of how it works, and once the dog's built that association, and then what I'll do at some point, I'll film some videos teaching the dog a behaviour that Fern hasn't learned yet, using the clicker, and we'll sort of build it from square one and show you guys how it works, and then you can do it along with us. So that's video 3, and there will be more coming in this series of clickers, so hope that helps. Thank you for watching me and Fern. Please give us a subscribe, a like, a share, and comment below with anything you've got for us.